our internet problems is that one problem you have with VR
Hmm.
is that despite the fact you do gain uh, increased, I don't know, right joystick movement, if you will,
Hmm.
your ability to look and view more because you get a 360 view in your periphery
You
and what
as you
have you.
turn your head, to
Right, right. It
it
becomes more
changes.
natural and immersive and stuff. What you lose
Right.
is mobility because even though you're
You
in the game, you can't really move from where you're at
you
unless
have
you're
to stay
holding a
exactly where you are.
controller.
Right.
Right, right. So a lot of that's fixed perfectly well by games like, flight simulators and where you're in a vehicle or that
Hmm.
sort of thing. But I heard of a game that actually did something that seems really brilliant that I
Okay.
hadn't thought of before when it comes to adding something to that where it doesn't sound weird. It puts you in space, and your
Okay.
mobility becomes the two joysticks in your hand, your ability to grab and move yourself through uh, the
Hmm.
open environment. Do you know what I mean? So you don't have to move your legs. You literally use those controllers in your hands to grab things on the side and propel yourself through the corridors
Oh, that's
because you don't
interesting.
have gravity. And
Yeah.
that makes a lot more sense. And it's an elegant way of
Yeah.
dealing
You're
with the issue of being fairly immobile
right.
in that sort of game because it works really well in like golf games and stuff. I've seen one game where it's like a shooter, but you're standing in one spot and like waves come at you.
Hmm.
That actually naturally feels like a interesting way to go about it.
They have a place. I forget what they call it. It's not open in Utah yet, but it's down like in uh, down towards the Provo area,
Right.
and it's got the VR augmented reality thing. So you wear the headset, and you have like a controller or some other form of um, item that you carry with you, but the entire inside of the room is laid out exactly as you see it in your goggles.
Yeah, I remember talking about this.
Yeah. So anyway, let's move on to the next one. Uh, Hopefully we can keep going on here. So the next one is called Exist Archive: The Other Side of the Sky. This one took me a while to find something out about the story. Um, it's a JRPG, so it's coming over from Japan and stuff, and it does look like it's got some pretty good visuals. This one's coming out for PS4, and Vita. Um,
Hand drawn animated stuff.
some of it, yeah, some of the animation sequences and things, but it's a lot of 2.5D type stuff as well. But you die and you wake up with some other people, and you have been imbued with the power of a dark god who died as well, and somehow his
Okay.
power passed into you, into the characters.
Uh huh.
So, I'm not entirely sure what. Like I said, it took me a while to even find that much out about this game. I mean, I went to their official website, and the official website has nothing that tells you about what the story behind the game is. It gives you a few more visuals as to what the game is going to look like. This is mostly a teaser trailer that we're showing you here.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
it's just the anime stuff. Like if this was an anime, it seems naturally fit, like a goofy Japanese story and stuff. Everybody gets a waifu.
right, exactly. And so, yeah. If you're interested in that kind of element, JRPG role playing, you've got strange powers, and the story is that you're not alive, you're not really dead. Somehow you're in a new world with strange powers. This one looks like it could be for you. The next one to move on is Super Dimension Neptune versus Sega Hard Girls. This sounds really weird. I mean, that last part makes it sound kind of,
Naughty.
adult oriented. Yeah. This is coming out for the Vita, and I can't say that the
One of the
The
girls looks
trailer
like she
here,
has a. Is this a Sega game?
well, it's from Sega.
Okay, because one of the girls has something on her head, and it looks like a Dreamcast controller. Honestly,
Yes. See, again, this is another one where I'm having a hard time trying to find out what the story is
you
behind the
pick
game.
obscure games to bring out as to like what's coming.
Hey,
out
this is on the list. It's coming out October 18th, and so we're talking about
It's
it.
on the list. We're talking about it. Shut up.
Exactly. So
Some
the
of the
story
icons,
behind it,
some of the icons, by the way, as they were flipping through that PlayStation Vita, look like the icon for the Sega Saturn. So I don't know what
yes.
to tell you.
Well, I'm going to get into that because what it is the main protagonist. There's this grand library that has all the shelves with books, and if you tamper with the books, it could erase history. And so this girl gets into the library, and then she sees that like the books are vanishing from the shelves. So she's trying to stop that from happening. She teams up with what they call the Sega Hard Girls and CPUs to discover what's to recover it. Now, the girls, the Sega Hard Girls, it should be the Sega Hardware Girls. Because there's one that's based on the original Sega. There's another one that's the Dreamcast. There's a Saturn. There's a Mega Drive. There's a Game Gear girl. And then on the other side, the CPU girls, Neptune is one of them. Hey, where's the next one? Nepgear. Oh, come on. This shouldn't take that long. Uzume, and then there's a new one. Plutia, I think. Anyway, the thing is that these girls, I believe, are the CPUs that were used, the code names for the CPUs that were used in some of these systems.
Apparently, the CPUs inside the different Sega consoles are manifested as little, I don't know, chibi waifu characters.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's just move on.
Okay.
The less said about that one, the better.
Right, moving on.
The next one coming out for Xbox One and PS4, Batman: Return to Arkham. Yes, this one's
VR.
been out, but what was that?
Is this
VR?
the VR one?
No. This is the remastered version of Arkham Asylum and Arkham.
Right, that they had to go back to the drawing
Arkham
board
City.
on and push back the release date because the remastered stuff was really bad.
Probably. It looks really good at this point. And again, I mean, if you were wanting to play any of the Arkham games on one of the current gen systems, here you go. That's what you got here. You've got Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, both remastered for the Xbox One and the PS4. So
yeah, no, that absolutely happened. It was supposed to come out, I think, in summer, and they released footage of it for their release, and everyone's like, "This looks like garbage," because apparently it looked worse than the original release.
wow.
I mean, it was higher res, but like it actually lost like some lighting effects and particle effects and a lot of other stuff. And you expect for a remaster an almost redo of the game to some degree.
Yeah, especially not necessarily the programming, but the visuals. It's almost like
right.
We've got a completely new game here.
But it was so bad that they actually just pushed it back another 6 months, if I recall. That's how bad it was.
Wow. But yeah, that's what we've got here. We've got the like I said, not Arkham Knight, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, coming out for the Xbox One and the PS4. So if you've been wanting to play them again, and you've been wanting to play them higher res on your current gen system, here you go. That's it for you.
Yeah, it's not Rocksteady that made it. It was some other company, which I think Rocksteady dropped the hammer on them, which is why they went back. Yeah.
I hope so. This should be like you were saying. This should almost be a completely redone game from the ground up.
Right.
Anyway, to move on, we have Battlefield 1, and it looks like you're already playing the trailer for it, which is awesome. Um, so Battlefield 1 comes out, and this is something that a lot of people have been jonesing for.
Oh, me too. I would
Yeah.
love to play this game. I have no money. I think I can predict, as far as I can tell, it cost me close to $400 to try and save my cat.
Mhm.
So no Battlefield 1 for Rhett, but it looks really cool.
It does.
And my hope is to save a bit of money and maybe get this, because this was one of those few games coming out here soon where I was like, I would like this game.
Well, this is the Battlefield has always been about realistic warfare. I can't really say that all of the game is realistic and everything, but this is all about
as
historical
opposed to just
battles,
running and shooting, but actual war.
Yeah, yeah.
So vehicles and a greater scope than just running around in a hallway shooting a guy.
Yeah, and the games have been very well received. People still play the multiplayer on these ones.
Yeah.
So this one is coming out for Xbox One, PS4, and PC. And I've got to say, the visuals look very, very good. And
it's a pretty game. I played some of that demo, and I had a blast.
And the creators behind the Battlefield series have been, really doing their homework, in my opinion, on making sure that their games are accurate historically, and have that element that, you look for at a combat, historical combat, first-person shooter kind of game. And they've gone back, so the previous iterations have been, more modern World War II rather than this one is World War I. So you have trench warfare, prop planes rather than jet fighters. But still, I think this is a really, really good direction for them to go with the Battlefield games.
I love it. I love it that they went back to historical wars instead of what Call of Duty did to like future war.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in the historical stuff anyway, so I have a bias.
Well, Call of Duty, if you go up to future wars, it's not. I mean, if they went from Battlefield 1942 to Battlefield 1942, or something ridiculous like that, it's no longer really a Battlefield game.
They did, believe it or not. They did. It was like Battlefield 1942, and I think the next one was Vietnam, and then they had Battlefield 2150, which had like mechs and stuff. And then they did Battlefield 2, which was like a modern combat with Abrams tanks. And
how well was that one received?
Very well. That one was probably one of the most popular multiplayer that I recall. Like people were playing Battlefield 2 multiplayer a long time.
No. The one that was set in the future.
I never played it, and I know it was popular to some degree, but not as much as the others. I honestly never played it. One thing I do remember about Battlefield 2, though, is you could get helicopters, and then guys could get in the helicopters, and you could fly them out, and then they could jump out of the helicopters to different places. Sort of use it as like a mobile, parachuting deployment zone thing. And the amazing thing is, if you were a good enough sniper, the game was so accurate and good enough that you could actually peg out the pilot out of the helicopter. And that became a huge problem, which is why a lot of the helicopter pilots stayed fairly high off the field.
So we're not getting anywhere near you.
Well, that way they couldn't get an angle on it. Which I think snipers and accurate snipers have always been a really big problem as far as these sorts of games and accuracy.
Yeah. That's true.
Because the likelihood of hitting somebody out of a helicopter is so flippin' small. And just the sea of snipers running around on these games and just getting hit by them without any, you know what I mean? It's always been an issue in all of these shooters.
That's true. Yeah, when you get a really good sniper on your team or on the other team, it really can turn the tide.
It changes
really
everything because it becomes super annoying.
So the next one we have is Rock Band Rivals. This is an interesting step in the Rock Band.
I thought Rock Band was dead.
Yeah, I thought so too. The thing is that you could. It's a new campaign mode, a new game, new campaign mode for Xbox One and PS4, and you get to play like how do you what do you call it? It's like a story mode for Rock Band.
Like a career mode.
Yeah. So you have your band, and you go from we're playing gigs at the state fair to now we're this huge band and we have this huge following, and so based on how you play, you do better and you go further and whatnot. At the same time, they also have this, so you can actually play this live online against other people.
That would be entertaining.
So it's head to head.
That would be entertaining. I think if they're doing the career mode stuff, they should do it really well in a sense of almost like the career mode they put in the new NBA game.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? That way it's like you got to do really well on this play because you're in a big stadium and it's going to set up your like reputation or whatever.
Right.
So choking at the big stadium isn't going to help you.
Right. It sets you back and you have to make up for it somehow.
Right.
So to move on, we have October 20th.
This is an expansion, by the way. It's not a...
Yeah, it's an expansion. So we have on October 20th, we're getting for PS Vita, we're getting Macross Delta Scramble. It's set in the Macross universe, so if you're not familiar with Super Dimension Fortress Macross, this may not be the game for you. If you're
not even a little bit.
Well, you are familiar with Robotech,
yeah,
which is what this is also based off of.
Yeah, I have no idea where this starts or where,
it's somewhere
where it goes
in the,
from Robotech.
Yeah, it's somewhere in this the series somewhere.
Is it when they go to like the one alien homeworld or something?
I wish I could tell you more.
Because it looks like they're elves all of a sudden in this game. So I have no idea why. Like, I know Macross exists. I own all of Robotech. Still no idea what's going on right here.
Well, Macross and Robotech are basically the same. There's a few differences. Cool. But Macross is what you would get if you bought the series in Japan. Robotech is what you got if you bought it here, where they kind of toned it down for kids. So he dies off screen eating a ham sandwich as opposed to dying in battle, kind of thing. Anyway, so you get to fly as in the variable fighters. So you get to switch between the jet mode, the hybrid mode, and the full out mech mode. So I mean, it looks like it could be quite a lot of fun.
It looks fun.
And this is a PS Vita game, so if you're looking for another game for your Vita, this may be what you're looking for.
People said Vita was dead like a year ago, but they're still coming out with stuff.
Still coming out with stuff for it, yeah. The next one is called Pixel Gear. This one is for the PS VR. And it looks interesting. It looks a little bit like Minecraft with weapons.
Okay.
I wish I could... This one... sometimes
Everybody wants to make the new Minecraft.
Yeah, a lot of times I'll put in like the title, and it'll get me the story and everything, characters, all that stuff, just right off the bat. Pixel Gear VR, nothing. I couldn't find a darn thing. Nothing official anyway. I found a lot of blogs saying it was this or that or the other thing, but I never found anything other than trailers for it. And so my impressions are based on what I see in the trailer. And it looks like it's Minecraft with weapons.
Yeah, you just run around, first-person shooter, shoot stuff in Minecraft. I mean, it doesn't look like it has the craftability, but it has the graphic look of Minecraft.
And it may have the Minecraft ability. I just couldn't tell you because, like I said, I couldn't find any official something or other about it. So this looks a lot more like maybe Minecraft story mode, where it has a story, you have weapons, there's something that you need to accomplish. This is for the PSVR, so this is another VR game for you to if you've decided to go the PSVR route.
Gotcha.
And then we get into October 21st. We have 2 games coming out on October 21st. The first one, right up your alley, Civilization 6.
I've played a lot of 3, a lot of 4, a lot of 5. I maxed out the achievements for Civilization Revolution on the Xbox 360.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is another Civilization game. I'm trying to think if I got some more information than that. It looks pretty, standard as far as the civilization building goes. You have your units and whatnot, and you go through and you build your civilization. But as far as the specifics of the story goes at this point, it's more factions, more updates, more maps, more to do in Civilization 6.
Yeah.
And it does look good.
It looks updated. If I were to say my favorite Civ game, it might actually be 4.
Mm-hmm.
But Civilization 5 was still fantastic. Probably had one of the most popular, songs attached to a game in decades.
So here we go. You build your civilization up, you start at the Stone Age, and you try to get to the Information Age.
Like all of them.
Yep. So probably new modes, new armies, new research that can be done, new...
I was never as good at empire building as a lot of other ones, but I did actually figure out a way to win on the hardest difficulties, and it was almost cheating. Because what you do is you set up a game on the hardest difficulty, because some of the achievements are win a military victory on the hardest difficulty, or win a diplomatic victory on the hardest difficulty, or win an economic victory. So I'm not as good at the empire building as the other, as the AI is, even a little bit.
Right.
So what I do is I set up a map where it's just one big island, and I have a lot of city-states. And then it's just me and one AI guy I'm against.
Okay.
And I swarm him at the very beginning, surround him, and then just don't take him out. So I can build my economy as long as I'm forcing him not to grow. And that's the only way I've been able to beat the hardest difficulties, by basically just spamming him with warriors and keeping him contained in his one spot so that his city doesn't grow. That's basically how I've been able to beat the diplomatic and economic victories and stuff. With the diplomatic victory, you wouldn't think that would work. But you grow and take over most of the map and get lots of money, and then you bribe a lot of the city-states, and then they vote for you when the UN elections come.